And the title should be adding and subtracting integers, not real numbers. Adding and subtracting integers. Integers, my bad. Did a little typo there. So we're still focusing on the additive inverse property, and we're still focusing on math practice standard number 5, which reads that you are to use tools strategically in order to solve problems. And what tools are we using right now? Tiles. So I left them there again because today you're going to have access to them if you want to use them. We already started with addition. Today we're going to do addition and subtraction. We're going to revisit addition and see how well you do with that, and then move on to subtraction, and you'll see what we have there. So our objective for today: I can add and subtract integers. Let's read it together. 1, 2, 3. I can add and subtract integers. So you wrote that down at the bottom left of your Cornell notes? Yes? Okay. And we know that our main concept for today is integers, and we know what they are now. Is that correct? All right, so I want you to fill up your Freyer model or the box by yourself. See if you can do that by memory by now. Okay? So fill that in, and then I'll put it up on the screen to see if you got it pretty close. Go. Okay, thank you. Here we go. Definition. Integers are whole numbers including their opposites. Your examples should look something like this. Some of you wrote the number line, some of you didn't. As long as you wrote some examples, that's fine. And non-example, you should have written some fractions and decimals. Is that correct? All right. So, whole numbers, no fractions or decimals, and opposites. Are we there so far? Okay. Now, check this out. I went ahead and covered the additive inverse property already. And I showed you the absolute value rule. Remember that? And then I talked about this iceberg. We're going to revisit that today. And then I gave you steps for adding integers. Is that correct? Okay. So now check this out. I left it here with real numbers because it was a slide that we're eventually moving to real numbers. But if we're focusing on integers, check this out. This is adding. Look for subtracting. Pay attention to this. Everybody look up to the screen. Adding, subtracting. Adding, subtracting. Adding, subtracting. Adding, crossover, yeah, subtracting. Tell your neighbor what's the difference for subtracting. So what do you notice from adding to subtracting? They added what? One more step. What is the step? Add the opposite of the second number to the first. Write that down, please, under your firm out, please. Just write to subtract integers, change the real numbers to integers. And then just write step number 1, because we already know the other 3 steps. Is that correct? Add the opposite of the second number to the first. Copy that. Okay? So the only rule to remember, and once again, we're revisiting this, is to add the opposite of the second number to the first. So, with that said, let me move on. So yesterday we did this one, right? You don't have to copy this. We did this one, yes? We did this one? No? Copy this one down, please. Example 3 in the back of your Cornell notes. Sure you did. Copy this one. -6 plus -2. Use any method to find the sum, please. Okay, volunteer. Anyone? Okay. Yes, Josh, what'd you get? Josh says -8. Hands if you got that. What method do you use? Tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more. There are no zero pairs, so that's -8. Okay? So, let's move on. How about, let's see, oh, copy this one. Any method? Should take you no longer than 20 seconds. Okay, everyone, what did we get? Negative 12. Hands if you got negative 12. Okay, let's go copy this next one. Example 4Q. Negative 15 plus 17. You got 20 seconds. Focus. Okay, everyone, what do we get? 2 is correct. So now, focus please. So hopefully by now your noodle is already identifying that 15 of these negatives cancel how many here? 15, right? To make a zero pair, we're going to be left with 2. Yes? Copy this one. See if we can do, let's try to do 5 in a row really quick. Here we go. Copy this one. B. Negative 28. Oh. Negative 20. Sorry, let me redo that. Negative 28 plus 30. C. Negative 59 plus 30. D. 66 plus negative 35. E. 78 plus negative 85. Okay. Okay, volunteer for B. Yes. Positive 2. That is correct. C. Volunteer for C. Over here. I can't hear. What is it? Negative 29. Hands if you got that. That is correct. D. Carlos. $31. Hands if you got 31. That is correct. And E. Jose. Negative 7. Hands if you got all 5 of them. 4. 3. Okay, not bad, not bad. So, any questions? Any questions with addition? Now, if we look up, please. So what was, let's see, let me take a quick survey. What was the preferred method? Let's see. Who did tiles? Okay. Who did number line? Who did absolute value? Who did ground zero? Okay. So if you notice, ground zero is helping for your brain to kind of like say this cancels with this, or it fills with this, and this is left over. Does that make sense? We're still using the additive inverse property. Does that make sense? Getting rid of 0 pairs. Okay. So with that said, let's move on. So now we're moving on to subtraction. So copy this one down. Example number 5. It says subtract 5 minus negative 4. Copy that, please. 5 minus negative 4. Just copy it, and I'm going to go over this one. Is it negative 1? Negative 4. Here we go. No. Pens down, eyes up here. Focus, please. Eyes on the screen. Here it goes. So, we wrote down a rule today, didn't we? And the step was add the opposite of the second number to the first. So check this out. We're saying add the opposite of the second number. What is the opposite of this one? 4 to the first. So notice that 5 didn't change. It stayed the same. And it was a subtraction. So whenever you see a subtraction problem like this, or an expression with a subtraction, automatically you're going to write a sum, or that you're adding, right? The first number is going to stay the same. For example, look up, what if I had this? Which one stays the same? 5, and we change this to addition. So look at this number. What is the opposite of the second? -4. That's why we write it like that. And from there, do we know how to add? Yes, we're experts at adding. So copy that, please, and finish off those two, please. Go. You got 30 seconds. So for this one, we got 9. And for this one, we got 1. Are we there so far? Okay, let's continue. Example number 6. Copy this one. Yes, 20 seconds. Do that one by yourself. Go. Okay. Let's see. Volunteer for this one. Alexandra. Alexandra says -8. Hands if you got that. Okay, walk me through the process, please. What do I do? Bring the 13 down. Add the opposite of what? Of 21, which is what? -21. And that's how we get that. And which method did you use? Ground zero. Okay, so that'll work. Not bad. So at this point, I'm going to have you practice a little bit more. I want you to open up your books to page 22. Page 22 on your books. I want you to go to page 22, and I want you to do numbers 4 through 7 at the top of the page that says your turn. You may write on the book, yes. And then you're going to work on the problems where it says guided practice, GD, guided practice, GP, my bad, GP. And you're going to work on problems numbers 1 through 15 only. Yes. Okay. Let's get to work, please. I'll be going around to make sure that you got this. You have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only 20 of them. 30 seconds each. You have about 12 minutes. Go. Okay. So I hear most of you are done, so I'll stop right there. I am going to have you share your answer for 15 with your neighbors. Do that, and I'm going to randomize so that somebody can give me a response. Go. So right now we're looking at problem number 15 from the text. On page 22 it says, how do you subtract an integer from one another without using a number line and counters? Let's look at this. Is this a subtraction?
No.
Okay. So, let's see, who has an example of a subtraction? Let's see, Jorge. -5 minus -9. Okay. So we'll put this one aside. So yes, and what method did you say? Because it says not to use a number line or counter, so which other method do you know? So keep the first, change to addition, and this becomes what? Positive. Okay, so what method do you use from there? I know, but remember, out of the 4 methods, which one are you going to use? Ground zero, okay. So we have -5. How much dirt do we have? 9. So, are we going to have dirt left over? Yes. How much? Hands if you agree with that? Yeah, that's a good example. Yes, pretty good. So when they're asking you to see how to subtract or add, and they're asking not to use the number line or not to use tiles, you already know a couple more methods, right? And that's the purpose of knowing more methods, that you can actually answer questions like this. You have a good, I guess, menu of methods to solve something. Okay, let me revisit the one with the iceberg. Check this out. Now this one. So I'm going to write this down. First I'm going to write the height, which is 75 feet. But then they want us to add, this distance. Everybody look up. From here to here. But what number do they give us? -247. So think about that. Do we talk about distances in negatives? Don't say it out loud. When I ask somebody to go counting steps all the way to the office and back, are they going to count in negatives? No. So how can we change this into a negative? Think about it.
Well, yes, they do.
For distances, we usually just count how many steps away, right?
But when you come back, you just count them back.
No, but isn't it the same distance?
Oh, yeah.
It's still a positive. So how can we change this? Think about it. Yes. How? Yes. Absolute value. So when they want us to think about distances here, we write first the positive number that they give us, and this one becomes what? Absolute value of -247, which becomes what? 75 plus what? 247. So what is the entire height of the iceberg? So then you go 247 plus 75. This becomes 12. We got 1, 11 plus 1. That's 12. 1. That's 322 feet. Your homework. Homework is found on pages 23 through 24. Number 16 to 24 even. And I'm going to upload the video once again. It's going to be up there on the YouTube channel if you need to revisit. Hold on to last night, so I'm going to check those on Tuesday. Enjoy your 3-day weekend, guys. Have a good one. See you guys Tuesday.